Welcome to German History with a German accent. My name is Wolf, W-O-L-F, just like the animal, and in this video I'm speaking about the Berlin Airlift from 1948 until 1949. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button and let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see more videos like this one or if I should stick to biographies as I have in the past. From June 26, 1948 until September 30th, 1949, both civilians and military personnel had been supplied with goods in West Berlin by an airlift. But why was this necessary? Let us start with the Yalta Conference that took place from February 4th until the 11th in the year 1945, where the Allies decided how to deal with Germany after the end of the war. It was decided to split up Germany in 4 occupation zones: France, the United Kingdom, and the United States, as well as the Soviet Union occupied a part of Germany. Berlin, the capital, was also divided into 4 sector zones. The city itself was located like an island in the middle of the Soviet occupied zone. Since the relationship between the West Allies and the Soviet Union got worse after the Second World War, it came to first temporary blockades of West Berlin. Since January 1948, both supply and personnel transports had been restricted, both for military personnel as well as civilians. This first peaked in April of the same year, 1948, when several important streets to West Berlin had been blocked off. British and American troops flew a 2-day lasting airlift to supply their garrisons in the city. On June 20th, 1948, the Tri-Zone, consisting out of the French, British, and United States zone, conducted a monetary reform introducing the Deutsche Mark. This caused the Soviets to establish a complete blockade of West Berlin. In the night of June 23rd to the 24th, West Berlin had been cut off from electricity. The complete supply and personnel traffic had been blocked off as well. A few days later, the west sectors had also been cut off from the water supply. The Allies considered multiple ways to respond to this action. It was considered to give up Berlin entirely and leave it to the Soviets, since it was believed too hard to maintain within the Soviet-occupied zone. Another idea was to break through with military forces to West Berlin and break the blockade. Ultimately, it was chosen to supply the encircled city within the Soviet zone by an airlift. This was based on an agreement made on November 30th, 1945, where the Allied city commanders of West Berlin were ensured 3 air corridors through the Soviet-occupied zone leading into the city of Berlin. Each of these corridors was just about 20 miles wide and could be used anytime, day or night, and by any type of aircraft. On June 26th, the first US Air Force aircraft supplied West Berlin. The British and Australian military also participated in this mission. During the course of the airlift, pilots from Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and South Africa also participated in this mission. The Berlin Airlift was a very important milestone, not only for the people in West Berlin, but also for the citizens in the Federal Republic of Germany, like West Germany, since it really changed their relationship to the Allied aircrafts, which were no longer feared as enemy bombers that would destroy their hometowns, but instead seen as friends that helped their people in Berlin. These supply aircrafts were called Rosinenbomber, or raisin bombers in English. Once the airlift was established, almost 90% of the about 2 million citizens in West Berlin did not believe that the airlift could successfully supply the city, especially through the cold winter time. Once William Henry Tunner, commander of the Combined Airlift Task Force, organized the airlift, the amounts of flown-in goods could be more than doubled within the first month. In the peak of the airlift, it was possible to land a supply aircraft every 3 minutes, and it would remain on the ground for only about 30 minutes. Since this blockade also hurt the Soviet-occupied zone as well as East Berlin, a counter-embargo of high valuable technology had been instated, as well as the demonstrated will to stand to West Berlin, led the Soviet Union to lift the blockade on May 12, 1949. Electricity and water supply came back, and the traffic blockade was lifted 1 minute past midnight. The airlift stayed intact until September 30th of the same year, until the city was restocked on its reserves. During the Berlin Airlift, 101 human beings had been killed due to accidents. Thank you so much for watching.